People keep asking why the universe exists. Honestly, I'm more surprised it hasn't quit yet. Think about it. Infinite chaos, exploding stars, black holes eating everything. And somehow it's still holding together. Maybe existence is just the universe's bad habit. Let's see what happens when nothing decides to do something.
Have you ever asked yourself the question that breaks reality? Not how the universe began, not what it's made of, but why it exists at all. Why is there something instead of nothing? Why are there stars, planets, thoughts, laughter, time, instead of pure, endless emptiness? It sounds poetic, but it's the deepest question science has ever faced. Because to ask why something exists, we first have to imagine what nothing really means. So let's start there with nothing. People think of it as black space. No stars, no light, no sound. But even that isn't true nothingness. Space itself is something, a physical structure that stretches and bends, carries energy, and can even ripple like fabric. Even if you remove all the matter, strip away every atom, photon, and particle, what remains still hums with invisible energy. Physicists call it the quantum vacuum, a restless ocean of fluctuations. Tiny pairs of particles appear, vanish, then reappear somewhere else. They don't last long, but they never stop. This is what scientists discovered when they looked into the void. Emptiness isn't empty. It's alive with possibilities. And that changes everything. Because if nothing is unstable, maybe the universe didn't need a reason to begin. Maybe it just happened because nothing couldn't stay nothing for long. It's strange, but the math works. Matter has positive energy. Gravity has negative energy. Add them up, they cancel out perfectly. That means the entire universe could have appeared from nothing and still add up to zero. The ultimate free lunch. But of course, we're not satisfied with that. We want meaning, a cause, a plan. If the universe came from nothing, then where did the rules that allow that come from? Who decided that gravity pulls or that energy can turn into matter? Where did the laws of physics come from? The silent code that keeps everything working. Some physicists believe those laws are eternal. They don't come from anywhere. They simply exist, like numbers or logic. Others think the laws might change, evolve, or emerge, that new universes could appear all the time, each with slightly different rules. Most die instantly. Ours survived. If that's true, then our universe isn't chosen. It's just lucky. A random bubble that inflated fast enough to avoid collapsing. Still, luck doesn't explain everything. Because when you look at the numbers, the universe seems almost too perfect. Gravity is balanced so precisely that if it were just a fraction stronger, everything would collapse. If it were weaker, stars would never form. If the charge of the electron were slightly different, atoms couldn't exist. This perfect fine-tuning feels suspicious, like someone adjusted the dials. Some call it the anthropic principle. The idea that the universe seems fine-tuned for life, because only in such a universe could life exist to notice. It's not that the universe was made for us, we were made by it. In the only version of reality where that's possible. Still, there's something eerie about how well it all works. It makes people ask, maybe the universe was designed, but by what or whom? Some say God. Others say randomness. Maybe they're both describing the same thing, order emerging from chaos. But if the universe does have meaning, maybe that meaning comes from something else entirely, from us. Because, according to quantum mechanics, reality doesn't seem to become real until it's observed. When no one looks, particles don't have fixed positions. They exist in multiple states at once. It's the act of measurement that collapses them into something definite. So what if the same rule applies to everything? What if the universe itself didn't become real until something conscious appeared to look at it? It's a wild thought, but maybe that's why life exists, not as a side effect of the universe, but as part of its design. Maybe the universe needed to be seen, and we are how it sees itself. Think about it. The atoms that make up your body were forged in stars that exploded billions of years ago. Those atoms now form eyes and minds that look back at the stars and ask, why? Maybe consciousness isn't a mistake. Maybe it's the moment the universe woke up. If that's true, then we're not outsiders looking at the cosmos. We are the cosmos, questioning itself. Every thought, every discovery, every time you wonder why you exist, that's the universe thinking. But if awareness gives meaning to reality, what happens when there's no one left to observe it? Does everything fade back into potential, into that restless quantum sea? Maybe that's the cycle. From nothing to something, from chaos to consciousness, and eventually back again. Every end becomes another beginning. And perhaps this whole story, from the Big Bang to you, is just one of infinite attempts at existence. Maybe universes come and go like waves in an endless ocean, each one trying to make sense of itself. Maybe ours just happens to be the one that learned to ask why. Still, we can't ignore the original mystery. If the Big Bang started everything, why did it start at all? Was it an accident? Was it inevitable? Or was it simply what nothing does when it gets bored? The truth is, we don't know. Maybe the universe doesn't need a purpose. Maybe existence is the purpose. The fact that there's something, anything, instead of absolute emptiness is already the greatest miracle. And the most mysterious part, you're part of that miracle. You're made from the same particles that once danced in the chaos of creation. You're the question, the observer, and the evidence all at once. So maybe the universe exists for one simple reason, so that something inside it could one day look up and ask this question. And maybe that's enough. Maybe the most surprising thing about existence is that it keeps going. 13.8 billion years and counting. Stars form, die, and give birth to new ones. Atoms recycle. Life evolves. Consciousness expands. But what if one day it all stops? Scientists believe the universe is still expanding faster and faster. Galaxies drift apart. Light stretches into darkness, and energy spreads thin. One day, there may be nothing left to fuel the stars. No heat, no light, no movement. Just silence, the so-called heat death of the universe. If that happens, the universe won't explode or collapse. It will simply fade into perfect balance. Every particle, every wave, every spark of thought, evenly spread across infinite emptiness. A quiet, eternal equilibrium. The end of everything. And yet, maybe even that isn't truly the end. If existence came once from nothing, what's to stop it from happening again? Maybe the void will stir once more. A new fluctuation, a new spark, a new universe. Perhaps this isn't the first time the universe has existed. Perhaps it's just one of countless cycles, a heartbeat of creation that never really stops. And maybe that's the secret. Existence doesn't ask for permission. It just happens over and over again. So if the question is, why does the universe exist? The answer might be as simple as, because it can. Because reality, by its nature, refuses to stay nothing. Every galaxy, every atom, every mind that ever wondered, they're all part of that same unstoppable force. The drive to exist, to continue, to ask. Maybe that's what we are. The universe's curiosity made conscious. And maybe that curiosity is what keeps existence alive. So next time you look at the stars, remember this. You're not just watching the universe. You're helping it exist just by noticing. And maybe that's all the reason it ever needed.